It's my pleasure once again to welcome you to the continuation of your news and current affairs program, TMI, reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio on the ITV network. I am Joshua Okata, and of course, as you've heard earlier, we will be taking the discussion further, especially looking at it from the debate over one-term promise. This, as you may know, is coming against the backdrop of a statement made by the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the person of Peter Gregory Obi, who said, and I quote, that his one-term or four-year term is sacrosanct. Now, we've had several reactions, especially from the presidency, a cross-section of Nigerians, and of course some political elite who are reacting negatively to this pronouncement made by Peter Obi. And of course, to analyze this issue and make sense out of it, I'm being joined by Ziggy Ibe, who is a political affairs analyst. Good morning, Ziggy. It's quite a minute, and thank you so much for joining me on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, now before we delve into the crux of the matter, there is a trending video which I want us to watch, a video of the incumbent governor of Anambra State in the person of Professor Charles Soludo, who reacted supposedly to the press statement made by the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. Let's watch that video, and when we return, we'll get to analyze the conversation. Please.
People and say, I will do only one term. Anybody, any politician who said that must be sent to a psychiatric home. Because the person must have some mental problem. When the Constitution allows you to stay up to 8 years, they come and tell us, I'm going to spend one term. Tell us where it has ever happened. Who? On a column, Nkwane Kwenwai. Bo. Nkwane Kwenwai. Bo. Nga watching, go te yaba. Ga watching, go te yaba. If I can anybody who is saying I'm going to do one term needs a psychiatric examination, because you are taking everybody else to be foolish, to be a fool. Anambra, we have advanced. There are calibers and categories of people that Anambra has since gone much higher. We are not going to.
All right. We've heard the reaction of the governor, who said that the Constitution stipulates a two-term, which is 8 years. And anyone saying contrary needs to check into a rehab. And of course, he went on to say certain things in Igbo language, which of course I want you to
I understand.
expatiate more on that. I said it's a statement being made to a woman. What's that statement about?
He said that such statements are slippery, and what that means is that it is a statement you make to women when you are in bed with them,
Really?
wanting to have that. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so let's leave it at that. Now let's look at the main issue. He is reacting negatively to the statement supposedly made by Peter Obi that it's impossible for an individual to promise a single term. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's a general promise to all politicians. I'm happy it's coming from his kinsman, but that statement is generally referred to all politicians because we've had all sorts. The Constitution, like you said, allows you beyond 4 years term. Okay? And if at the end you want to stop at the 4th year, which is the Constitution stipulated term for one term, is okay. Now, where do we want to delve much into this? the acceptance or otherwise of what Peter said. This is not the first time we are hearing that. We've heard it many times from politicians who are flippancy in their comments and all that. During last general election, Atiku promised it. He said it via or through late Dokbesi. Dokbesi said it, that Atiku would do only 4 term, only 4 years, 1 term,
Yeah, single term.
and hand it over to an Igbo presidency. That's what Dokbesi said. So many governors, so many, you see, like he said, the truth is that they come up with unbelievable promises that never holds water, because the perks of offices will never allow them. If that is done in good faith, why not? Because Constitution didn't say it must. Constitution only allows you 4 years, 1 term, and allows beyond. Okay, that beyond means it's a choice. If you want to, you continue. If you don't want to, you step aside. Other person step in.
Okay, now
Okay.
let's look at this issue. Peter Obi didn't just say his 4-year term, 1 term, or single term, as people would say, is on the premise of what the Constitution stipulates.
Yes.
He is saying on the basis of bringing impact, positive change to the lives of those governed. Now, let me also make you understand that I think Soludo, in a statement by what Nigerians are saying, that it is entirely impossible that an individual would govern for just 4 years.
No, it's not.
Now
It's not impossible.
let's even look at it in context. Let's bring it in perspective. We have several past presidents of great nations like America. We have the likes of Abraham Lincoln, who Peter Obi quoted to have done just a single term.
No.
And they brought about
Lincoln.
They
Okay.
brought about positive change. One of those changes that Nigerians are also enjoying today is the abolition of slave trade. Now, he also talked about the issue of legacies that Abraham Lincoln brought about, which also brought about the reconciliation of the North and the South after the Civil War, which was seen in his inaugural speech. We also have great men like J.F. Kennedy. They brought about great changes, which also is what we enjoy today when it comes to the exploration of the space. Now, are you saying that it is entirely impossible?
No.
Looking at it from the context,
No.
Peter Obi was saying that you cannot make a change within a 4-year term.
Governance is about impact on the people, on the led.
Say that again.
Governance is about impact on the people, on the led.
Yes.
So, the time specified within these 4 years, impact could be made. So, it's not necessarily until you rule or until you govern for 8 years before impact is made. The drafters of the Constitution didn't see it this way, and it is obvious. The obvious here is that you could make your impact within a year, within 2 years, but it is expected that within the end of the 4th year, 1 single tenure, your impact could have been manifested to the people.
Now, pause for a while. After a 4-year, the impact made, and the individual decides to step down, does it mean that person needs to check into a rehab?
No, nothing is wrong
as
with the
Soludo
person's.
said?
No, I think Soludo is drawing from the historicity that nobody had done that. But it doesn't mean here that if nobody had done that, it is not possible. Maybe he didn't understand that part. It is because where we are coming from, nobody had done it.
Some people are also
Good. Now, hold on. I'm building up to something.
Going towards the issue of attacking his personality as against addressing facts.
I'm building up to something. Now, let's come home here in Lagos. Baba Kekere, what's the name? The governor who just passed away. For 3 years, he built Abraham Adesoyan's estate everywhere within 3 years plus. Is that Abraham Adesoyan now? The son is now the local government chairman at Odiolowo. Okay, so estates are everywhere, built everywhere. Within the short period he saddled saddled in that responsibility. So it is not hard to make impact on the people. I wouldn't want to join Soludo in believing that 4 years tenure isn't enough to make an impact. There are two things I'm for every year. Is either you want to believe that 4 years is not enough to make an impact, or you are doubting that nobody could achieve whatever he wants to achieve within that short period of time.
He never spoke about impact. He was rather saying
that's why I said
it
is two phases. It is in two phases. The two phases are an individual who is involved, without speaking for P2B, or what impact does he have to give to the people within the 4 years he specified. You see, every leader comes with his own agenda and how he wants to distribute, or how he wants to carry out those functions. If P2B, I'm not doubting him, because we have so many who had said so. Unfortunately, they had they have no opportunity to be there. But from historicity, given by the things we've had in the past, no governor had done 4 years unless they are exited at the poll.
All right, now let's look at responses from the presidency. We have, as alleged, a domestic staff of Bola Tinubu in the person of Bayo Onunuga, who accused Peter Obi of being a liar.
Yes, he didn't believe it would happen.
1 minute. He accused Peter Obi of being a liar, of not keeping to his promise, saying that Peter Obi at some point in time while being in the Abga vowed with his life that he would not leave Abga, and eventually left. And then he said that Anambra State as a whole never looked like a state that was transformed, even much longer after he had left. So what would you say as regards the issue Peter Obi said? Are they taking it out of context, or they are attacking his personality?
What Peter Obi said is in two folds. I'm approaching it via two folds. The governance structure or the framework, and the historicity of how Peter Obi had made similar promises in the past without fulfilling them. So in this analysis, one will not jettison the fact that governance could be approached from the start to the 4th year in a very good light. You can achieve all you want to achieve. Okay, so going by the individual who gave the speech, so many things he had said in the past were expunged and brought before him to actually know that you have been in this similar statement always. All right. And none of them was done in good light. Okay. None of that. You never met your promises.
All right. The room is quite dense right now, so let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll take the conversation to the front line. Please do stay with us. Thanks so much for staying with us. And of course, if you're just joining, this is TMI reaching you live from Lagos. And of course, we've been talking about the debate over a 4-year or single term as promised by Peter Obi if elected as president, a reaction or a statement rather that has elicited so much reactions from a cross-section of Nigerians, which we at the moment are analyzing. Now let's look at the issue of Bayo Onanuga as we were talking about. Bayo Onanuga seems to be talking about certain promises that Peter Obi made as against impact. Peter Obi made several impacts in the state, as the record shows, especially talking about education. Did he at any time remember such?
You see, politicians will always want to keep us on our toes, to talk about issues, and that's why they keep emanating every now and again. Such issue coming from Peter Obi shouldn't have made our headlines, to me, because politicians, like I said earlier, are flippant. They make vomit of their morning, they make lunch after their morning vomit. And they never remembered all they've said if you further want to interrogate them. Just like we have on many spaces now. So, if leaving the whole thing to me, I don't want to bother myself about what Peter Obi said, because we've heard that million times from individuals of political exposition. They never meant what they say. They never say what they meant.
All right,
so
now,
taking that from Bayo Onanuga, who said that Peter Obi said what he said, Peter Obi had not started. So he would want to let us into a particular knowledge of things that we want to hear.
All right, now,
because during electioneering, as we are stepping into it, you are going to hear a lot of things that will never be met as a promise. So if Peter Obi is saying 4-year term of single term, hand it over to who? You understand? Because that promise is in many folds. It is, governance is about impact to the people. Are you saying that within that, is he speaking from that context that when I am elected a president, I will meet all the promises I've made within 4 years? That's one. Two, is Peter Obi saying that this is just my agenda, that within 4 years I am stepping aside for some other person? So these are two critical questions I think should bother ourselves, and not what Peter Obi said.
All right,
Peter Obi could say anything, just like Atiku had told us same. Okay, in his various outings. We've had so many persons who told us, we have so many governors who had said so. We didn't take them on that. So let's not busy ourselves with inanities that don't give rise to our productivity, to our daily livings, to everything we do. Because at this point, Peter Obi's 4-year term shouldn't generate the much heat is generating now. To me, it is just one of those statements, flimsy statements politicians make, and that is just it.
all right, now let's look at this issue from the eye or prism of the law. Does the law in any way stipulate in black and white the tenureship for any elected public office holder?
No. 4-year term is allowed. 8-year term is allowed by the Constitution.
That is what the Constitution
Good. You
states.
run them for the first time. It is now your choice to step down for another person, or you wish to continue. And the same Constitution allows you to run for the second term.
Now, talking about the individual in this case, Peter Obi decides that a 4-year term is enough for him to create the change needed. Has he in any way overstepped the law?
Peter Obi, fortunately, was a governor of Anambra State for how many years?
8 years.
Good. You know, he came in.
And was impeached at some point.
His tenure was truncated.
Yes.
And he was taken by Tiaba. So, Supreme Court returned him. Why didn't he say he wouldn't continue? for the next 4 years. Because he has had his opportunity.
But
Just like in Rivers, just we had. I think
he never gave that promise.
Let me tell you,
we're talking about what the Constitution states.
Many times,
if an individual decides out of his volition to say, I am not doing a 2-term,
and I am telling you,
that person done it?
I am telling you that P2B had the same opportunity to discontinue the being on the seat of a governor in Anambra State, in the same Anambra you're talking about. P2B had the opportunity when his tenure was truncated. He had the opportunity to say, no, my 4 years has been spent, let my deputy continue. Etiaba, did he say so? P2B came back and pursued his case till the Supreme Court returned him. His 4th year, he went. His second term, he went. Why didn't he say no? Because he has his own personal ambition that I wouldn't run beyond 4 years. So let's not take these people serious. That's my own. What I'm saying is, P2B, same person who made all this synchronicity of 4 years, had the same similar opportunity to have said, no, I wouldn't run for the second term. Because his term was truncated at the first 4 years. When he was returned by the Supreme Court, he had the opportunity to say, no, I wouldn't go for the second term. Let the first impact I made remain with the people.
Now talking about,
I think that would have been very respectful and honorable to him.
Now talking about,
but now coming now to say I will do only 4 term, if P2B, you know, that statement is in folds. That I keep saying it. If he said 4 years is enough for me to make an impact on the people, let the people decide if I should continue. It makes a louder statement than coming and say blankly and said I will do 4-year term. 4-year term, have you finished the job you came to do?
No.
He didn't say it.
So,
now he didn't tell us in the fourth year I'm giving up so that I could give the opportunity to another person, maybe from another region or so. So don't go to bank with all these politicians' statements.
All right,
it is blank check.
So let's focus on the major. Talking about impact, some Nigerians are of the opinion that when it comes to public governance, it's impact determined. Not about issue of tenureship. It's not tenureship based, because when it comes to capacity, some Nigerians say Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the present president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, lacks the capacity to be able to take Nigeria to the next level, given what Umaru Musa Yar'Adua had just 2 years of his reign in power. Unfortunately, health issue never allowed him to stay longer. He brought about an electoral change, which is what Nigerians currently are asking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to put into law, the electoral change. Also bring about several changes, especially when it comes to the Onronsoya report.
Yes.
Up till this moment, such reform has not been made.
And many other
some
reports.
persons are saying that even if you give Bola Ahmed Tinubu 20 years, he cannot bring about the needed change. So is it about tenureship or about impact? I'm
happy you are talking about Yar'Adua, former president, whose impact was felt. But you and I, who still claim Nigerians, said the 4-year tenure that we enjoyed under Yar'Adua leadership, because Jonathan continued his 4th year. Now, Nigeria said no, that there was no impact and clamored for more. Jonathan had only his own with his deputy and served out, what's it called, Yar'Adua's own. Look, we might continue in this unending, because we Nigerians are never satisfied with governance of the people. That's one. Two, those who are governing, who eventually are these leaders, know who we are, that we keep complaining and all that and all that and all that. But P2B, if I were him, I will go back to those statements and clarify what he meant.
I'm sure.
If he means that I am going to give good governance within these 4 years and step down for another person.
I'm sure you need to go back to that press statement and read for yourself. It is
He
very clear.
didn't say he's going to finish his governance.
Ziggy Ibe for coming on the show. We don't have much time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. That's the much we have for you from our Lagos Network studios.